A 6-year-old boy disappeared in the Great Smoky Mountains National Park in June of 1969. His name was Dennis Lloyd Martin. He went missing on Father's Day weekend while hiking near Spence Field along the Appalachian Trail. He vanished in daylight, within minutes, with adults nearby. Despite one of the largest search operations in the park's history, he was never found. This is one of the most unsettling missing person cases ever recorded in an American national park. Dennis Martin was 6 years old and lived in Knoxville, Tennessee. He was about 4 feet tall, weighed around 55 pounds, and had dark brown hair and eyes. He had mild learning disabilities and was described as a quiet, gentle child who enjoyed being outdoors with his family. In June of 1969, Dennis joined his father, his grandfather, and his older brother on a camping trip in the Great Smoky Mountains. On June 13th, they hiked into the backcountry and stayed overnight near Russell Field. The next day, they continued toward a nearby area called Spence Field, a grassy meadow located along the Appalachian Trail. That afternoon, Dennis was playing with other children near the trail. The boys decided to play a small prank by sneaking up on the adults. To avoid being seen, Dennis was told to walk in a different direction before circling back. Wearing a bright red shirt, Dennis walked toward the tree line. His father watched him step behind a bush. Less than 5 minutes later, Dennis didn't return. His father immediately began searching the area. He ran down the Appalachian Trail, calling his son's name. He searched for over a mile, then turned back and checked Spence Field again. He ran all the way back to Russell Field and returned once more. Dennis was gone. As evening approached, Dennis's grandfather hiked several miles to the ranger station at Cades Cove to report the disappearance. That night, a powerful thunderstorm moved through the mountains. Heavy rain fell for hours, flooding trails and swelling streams. The weather made any nighttime search nearly impossible. At first light the next morning, the official search began. National Park Service rangers started combing the area around Spence Field. Volunteers arrived quickly, and the search effort grew larger by the hour. Over the next 2 weeks, hundreds of people joined the operation. Firefighters, police officers, college students, Boy Scouts, and trained military personnel all participated. Helicopters and planes searched from above, though fog and mist often limited visibility. At its peak, nearly 1,400 people were searching the mountains at the same time. In total, thousands of man-hours were spent covering more than 50 square miles of rugged terrain. Searchers worked steep slopes, thick brush, ravines, and waterways. Dogs were brought in, but heavy rain had likely washed away any scent trails. Despite the massive effort, nothing definitive was found. No clothing, no belongings, no remains. The search was eventually scaled back, and months later it officially ended. Dennis Martin had vanished without leaving a trace. There were, however, a few details that raised questions. During the search, small footprints were discovered near a stream. Officials believed they belonged to another child who had been in the area and dismissed them. Years later, a retired ranger suggested the footprints may have been Dennis's after all. A partial shoe print was also found near a river crossing, but was never conclusively identified. Then there was a stranger report. A few days after Dennis disappeared, a family hiking several miles away reported hearing a sudden, chilling scream echo through the woods. Moments later, they saw an unkempt man moving quickly through the forest, carrying something reddish over his shoulder. Authorities investigated the report, but concluded there wasn't enough evidence to connect it to Dennis. The distance was far, and the timing didn't line up clearly. Dennis's father never believed that explanation. Years later, another claim surfaced. An illegal ginseng hunter reported finding a small child's skull and bones in a remote hollow of the park. Afraid of being prosecuted, he waited years before telling authorities. When search teams returned to the area, no remains were found. That lead went nowhere. Today, 3 main explanations are usually considered. The first is that Dennis became lost and died from exposure or an accident. The Smoky Mountains are extremely rugged, with steep drops, dense vegetation, and unpredictable weather. A small child could easily fall, drown, or succumb to hypothermia. The second possibility is an animal attack. Black bears and other wildlife live in the park. However, no physical evidence has ever supported this theory. The third possibility is abduction. Some believe Dennis was taken by someone who happened to be in the area. The scream and the sighting of the man carrying something red are often cited, but no proof has ever emerged. Because there is no clear evidence, none of these explanations can be confirmed. The disappearance of Dennis Martin changed how search and rescue operations are conducted in national parks. It highlighted the need for better coordination, faster response times, and earlier use of trained search dogs. More than 50 years later, the case remains unsolved. A child vanished in minutes in daylight, surrounded by people, and the mountains never gave him back.